Whoa, whoa, whoa.
In my most recent fishing video, you saw me chasing crappie around on the lake, but then late in the day, I discovered this creek right here, and I decided for the rest of my fishing trip, I am going to focus on multi-species in the creek. And I'm really excited to do that because I've never been back here before. I've seen lots of bluegill and lots of sunfish. I've seen a couple small bass. I actually saw a few little tiny crappie. So I'm excited to just kind of fish my way back to the main lake, catch whatever I can catch, and then we're gonna call it a day. So really for the next, hour and a half, I'm really gonna focus in and just do some creek fishing, and I love this style of fishing. So without further ado, let's get into it.
This little bend right here looks pretty good. Oh gosh, one had it. That's a bass. Hey, he's not bad for creek fishing. An ultralight. There's current flowing through here at all times too. Look at that. Man, he's a pretty fish. Dude, look at that lateral line. Beautiful fish, man. I'll take a little creek largemouth like that any day of the week. He's freaking beautiful, dude. See ya, buddy. Oh, snap. God, he was just running with it. Just a little bluegill, but holy smokes, he like put slack in my line. He was running with that thing, man. He's chunky. She's fat, dude. She's a fatty. All right, anybody else over there? I'm telling you, these little channel swings right here where it deepens out, the fish kind of stack up in these areas. Creek fish can sometimes be pretty spooky. If you get too close to them, they will just get lockjaw. There's one. That fish did not get lockjaw though. That's another fat bluegill. It's a short little fish, but it's fat. It's been eaten up. I'm telling you, there's a bunch of bugs hatching. I think these bluegill are just gorging themselves. There's one. Yes, sir. Wait, what is that? Yellow perch. All right. Wasn't expecting any yellow perch back here. That's what I like to see. All right, we're up to 3 species in this video already. Not bad. Squirmy little fella. This water actually has decent depth to it. I'm really impressed. The fact that I was able to navigate my way all the way back here, because I'm actually quite a ways away from the lake. I'm actually surprised at how much water we have back here, and that's why there's so many fish. Oh, one was just carrying it. Dadgummit. He came back for it. Another bluegill. All right, I want your cousin. Go tell your cousin, Mr. Green Sunfish, to come out and play because I want to catch one. See ya, buddy. This, my friends, is exactly why I decided to call it quits on the crappie trip, because this is just straight up fun. I don't care that they're small fish, man. This is just straight up fun. They're loaded in here, dude. It's actually a respectable gill right there. Oh, that's an easy release. The fact that I'm able to do a skinny creek fishing video with a pedal drive kayak is just so freaking cool to me. I dream of places like this. I'm so happy I stumbled upon this, man. So happy. There's one. That feels like a dink. God, but he fought hard. May not be a big fish, but they all fight harder in this kind of water. See you, bud. All right, I'm done being lazy. I'm gonna take 2 seconds to rig up a little float rig because I think that'll be effective. I'm actually gonna rig it up just peg style since this is such a shallow little creek. And I just wanna use a really small float. This is the 0.75 version. And the reason is because this water's clear. These fish are a little bit finicky from what I'm seeing. And I wanna keep it pretty ultralight. And I wanna keep it, I wanna keep that splash nice and light. And I think that'll allow me to catch a few more of these finicky bluegill. It's always a pain in the butt to try to tie a loop knot while in the kayak, but I got it accomplished. The loop knot allows that jig to just hang horizontally, and it's so much more natural, and so I feel like it really helps drawing bites. This is some micro ultralight gear right here. 1/80th ounce jig, 0.75 inch float, and a 1.2 inch mule minnow. That little tiny float just, it moves on the slightest bites. And that's why it's kind of nice to have that little float, but on top of that, it's so much smaller. And the fish don't notice it as much, and that is a yellow perch. Nice little perch, not that bad. Fun little fish. There's a fish, probably a bluegill. Yep, another hard fighting little dinky gill. There's one. I don't know how I hooked this fish. Look at that, impressive. Impressive. I will take him. Holy smokes. I see a little bass right there. I'm gonna see if I can make him eat. He might be a little too close to the kayak. Oh, no, he's got it. Oh man, I watched him eat. I love sight fishing, you guys know that. Oh my gosh, cool. All right, got another little bass. And again, very pretty fish. God, that was fun to watch. He kind of approached it, he wasn't sure. I twitched it once, and he gobbled it up. There's one, dinky gill. Another cast, another dink. There's one. Oh, arg, he was so dark I thought he was a green sunfish. It's just a bluegill. Man, I was so excited. Kind of a pretty fish though, dude. Nice, love that. See you, buddy. I feel like I've eaten a pound of these things and I still have a lot left. So shout out to my wife for packing me way too many peanut butter pretzels. Man, they're so delicious though. Man, I tell you what, you know, this fishing isn't exactly like challenging. I'd say the most challenging part about fishing like this is navigating the waterway and keeping your boat positioned, because there's constantly current flowing against you and you're always dealing with obstructions and whatnot. But it is an absolute blast out here, and the weather is literally perfect. It's gotta be probably like 75, 80 degrees and a little bit of overcast, and it feels really, really nice out. So man, I'm just having a blast. You know, obviously, like I said, no major big fish, but it's fun to catch multi-species. You never really know what you're gonna run into in a body of water like this. So with that being said, we're just gonna keep on fishing, man. I probably got like another 45 minutes, so let's just keep having fun, and then fingers crossed we can find one of those green sunfish, and who knows what else. Let's get back to it. But peanut butter just gets like stuck to my teeth and my mouth gets all dry. It's hard to talk. It's not exactly a good food to eat while making a video, but man, they're tasty. That, my friends, is a decent little gill. Pretty fish, man. Nice little chunky fish. Got him. Another decent little gill. Got him. Man, that fish was finicky on how he was eating that. Such a chunky little fat bluegill. You gotta look at the belly on this girl. For being a short little thing, look at that. Just chunky. See ya, bud. There's one. I saw a couple nice gills. That might be a decent one right there. That might be a decent one right there. That's a dandy. That is a dandy. God, they're all so short, but they are just so fat. I mean, that's really not that big of a fish, but he's built. He's like probably honestly outweighs a fish that's an inch longer than him on a normal body of water, because he's built like a dang freight train. He's a beautiful, beautiful fish. See ya, bud. Maybe I should set my minnow to actually be right under the surface, because I'm getting some attention on my actual float. These fish are clearly surface oriented. There, we got one. Oh, ooh, it's a beauty. That's a beauty. Oh my gosh, yes sir. That's a Pumpkinseed bluegill hybrid is what that is. And that's my best fish out of the creek yet. I'm gonna try just setting it to where it's literally like 8 inches subsurface. Very short, but it might end up doing the trick well. We'll see. There's one, yeah. Yeah, he ate it a whopping 8 inches under the surface. Is that a perch? That's a nice thick perch. It's a decent one. By no means a big perch, but a pretty fish. I love me some bonus yellow perch in the creek, man. Long and narrow. All right, see ya, buddy. We have very few of these, but we do have them around. Grass pickerel. It's a fish that I really, really want to catch, but I've only ever seen one, and it was actually in a super flooded trout stream. It was very strange, and I just literally caught it with my hands because it was in a really, really shallow pool, and it was stuck. But I've never ever caught one, and I've never ever seen one aside from that one time. And I feel like this is the type of place where I could potentially find one of those fish, but I don't really know. I'm hoping to find an area where I can catch grass pickerel at some point, because that is a fish I'm very interested in. Oh, there's a fish. And I just haven't caught one yet though. One of these days. And that right there might be a pure pumpkin. It's either it might be a hybrid. Hard to say, really pretty. That might be a hybrid between a pumpkinseed and a bluegill. Very pretty fish. See ya, bud. Anyways, there's a lot of fish that I obviously want to catch, but grass pickerel is definitely on the list. I just need to find a place to do it. So, skidamarinky dinky dink, skidamarinky doo. I want to catch you. I want to catch a bluegill and a green sunfish too. Gotcha. Oh wait, what is that? What is that? What is that? Oh, it's a nice gill. I thought it was a crappie for a second there. Nice big female. It's actually another very respectable fish. Not like a big one by any means, but for the creek, much bigger than a lot of the fish we've caught today. See you, bud. One thing I'll say about fishing a little float rig like this is line control and line management is a very critical aspect. And I just hooked that fish right there because I had my line set up properly. You know, you really want to make sure that you're maintaining a relatively semi-slack line. You don't want too much slack, because if you have too much slack, number one, that current is going to drift your jig too fast, and number two, if you get a bite, you're not going to be able to get a good hook set in them. So line management, really key. Boat positioning is key, or if you're wade fishing or bank fishing, you know, just the angle at which you cast, it's really key. You know, kind of casting upstream and a little bit at an angle is fine, but when you cast cross current, you know, that tends to be a little bit harder to execute this float rig effectively. Well, I tell you what, I was actually going to switch back to the Donkey Tail Junior, but I think I'm gonna stick with the float rig because I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I've got it set shallower to where, you know, not only is it such a visual strike, but I think that it's actually working better when I've set it shallower, because I think these fish are actually looking up and feeding up. And I don't know if it's because of all the insects that are towards the surface, or if it's just, I don't know, their temperament today. You know, usually bluegill and sunfish do feed up, but sometimes in creeks like this, they might be a little bit more bottom oriented, so on and so forth. Anyways, today they're certainly feeding really close to the surface. So when I position that jig about 10 inches under the surface, man, it's lights out. I'm having so much fun, and I know I've said that 1,000 times, but it's just such an interesting place to fish. And it's cool because I have this totally to myself. And I hope I can find more places like this in the future, man. I feel like John Dalton from Creek Fishing Adventures. If you guys don't watch Creek Fishing Adventures on YouTube, you ought to start, because he's one of my favorite YouTubers. I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but he is one of the YouTubers that I have tremendous respect for. So that's enough rambling. Let's get back to fishing, man. We're having a blast out here. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. I'm sorry if you're getting tired of seeing me catch dinky sunfish, but I'm having fun with it, so I'm just gonna keep going. Got him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gilliam. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this? That's like a albino bluegill. Okay. Well, that's insane. Okay, that's crazy. I've never caught a fish like this in my life. That's like legit an albino bluegill. I have to get a picture of this. It's crazy, dude. Get some high quality footage so you guys can check it out too. The colors are insane. It's literally just like an albino bluegill. I would have never expected to see that. I've never seen that in my life. Well, I don't know what causes that. I mean, I guess it's just a weird color pigmentation thing, but I guess I better get this fish back. That's super unique. That's so cool. All right, see ya, buddy. Good luck. Hope that bluegill turns into a 10-incher. That thing is crazy looking, man. Have you guys ever seen anything like that? I feel like I've seen like the albino catfish. I've seen like those trout that are, you know, colored that way, but I've never seen an albino bluegill before. That was wild. What do we got here? Another gill, but this one looks like a normal colored gill. There you go. Cool. Yeah, nice one. Whew, golly, they fight hard in here. Not even that big of a fish, but boy, did he pull. Ho, 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 holy smokes. Look at that big, juicy belly. Ho, ho, oh my gosh, pinned it. Yes, sir, look at that fish. It is so fat. I gotta show that girth off. Oh my gosh, she got a dump truck. Cowpoke Mule Minnow 1.2 is like definitely one of my favorite little sunfish setups now. I'm telling you, I really like this color. Oh yeah, little female gill. Shoo, shoo baby, shoo. Shoo, baby, shoo! I don't even know what I'm saying, but holy smokes. Yes, sir, another donkey and a half Pumpkinseed. Beautiful fish, my guy. Holy smokes. I love it. I love to see it. That's a pure pumpkin right there. That is a pure pumpkin. Northern beauty right there. All right, see you, girl. I just had a short strike. I just had a short strike. I'm gonna catch a fish on this cast. I'm gonna catch a fish on this cast. There's a bite. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you. I dare you to come back and eat it. I dare you. Haha, told you I'd catch you. Oh, Lordy. Lord have mercy. Whoo! Nice chunky pumpkin. Hey there, pumpkin. Not as big as the last couple, but another nice healthy fish, and it put up a nice fight. Love it. You love to see it. Well, I tell you what, today was an absolute blast, and this is one of those days where it's just like, man, I had a lot of fun out here. This was just a good old-fashioned fun fishing trip. It wasn't fancy. We didn't catch any giants. We caught some nice pumpkinseed, but we just caught a lot of fish, and we did it in an area that, oh, by the way, I fished with no one else. I had this whole spot to myself, and it was so much fun. It was such an adventure and such a good time. This is the setup I used all day. It's the 6-foot Temple Fork trout and panfish, ultralight. The peg float is what I liked to use. I also caught some fish on the Donkey Tail Junior, just rigged as is, but I liked this little 1/80th ounce mule jig with the same cowpoke 1.2 mule minnow on it all day. But I'm telling you, that little peg float is so much fun to fish. If you just fish in the shallows and you twitch it around and whatnot, and then that thing just kind of doink, 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 and then it goes under, man, that is fun to watch, and I love just setting the hook on them as soon as it goes under. Whether you're using mule gear or not, I would highly recommend that you try some peg floats out. They're a great way to catch fish in shallow water, especially creeks and whatnot when you got a little bit of current. Anyways, I could ramble about how much fun I had all day, but the reality is I want to go home and see my son and see my wife, so I'm excited to do that. So thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.